my channel. So today I'll be talking about episodes 1, 2, and 3 of season 4 of The Boys, the new season that just dropped on Amazon Prime. And boy, oh boy, did they give us a feast. The 3 episodes are all 1 hour each. Actually, one episode is 63 minutes, but you know, if you count the credits, it probably comes out to like 1 hour. And after watching those 3 episodes, I thought, is this the best season yet? Because it's just as perversive and naughty and gory as the other ones. Here's some of the highlights of all the brutality that happened that, that I thought were highlights. We start with a bang. There's a scene where Kimiko is falling out of an 8-story building and she has this like baby hand that's growing because like something happened. Zoe, Newman's daughter, she has this Medusa-like things that come out of her mouth and cut off Kimiko's arm. And she can't reach a Starlight that's trying to like save her from falling, on the ground, but she falls on the ground and it was so funny. She's like smashed. And then it's, what's his name? Frenchie, Starlight, and MM. And then they don't show on camera, but Kimiko lifts her face and they're like, oh my God. And her face is like all busted and she's like putting back together. That was so funny. The bat mitzvah that's happening when they set up, they're going there to spy on Firecracker in Sage and the other ones on Deep Sea's room. And they go and walk into this like bat mitzvah that's happening, and it's a nod, and probably because it's a show from Amazon Prime, but it's a nod to The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, one of my favorite shows too. And then they show a cardboard print of Tony Schroep, and they're all Jewish. Oh, and when I saw that, I thought Firecracker is going to make an anti-Semitic comment. But that whole scene, it was glorious. I remember Mother's Milk, he killed someone with a menorah and was like, yeah, you go. And then they're fighting the Splinters, which is like, is one man that he like multiplies in like a bunch of naked men. And for that actor to be fighting and doing all those stunts butt naked, like props to him. I know The Boys, it's not a show for everyone, especially for people out there. They're very prude and puritist. But what I like most about the show is the intellectual commentary. And above all this season, there's a lot of political commentary, which might turn some people off. And I wonder how the MAGA crowd would feel about this season, or if they were even watching, because the show creator, he gave an interview saying that, yes, the show is about what's going on in America. And he said, I don't care if it turns people off. He was very blunt about it. And I started to pick up little things here and there during this 3 episodes, like Homelander, which we kind of already knew that he is some sort of like Trump-like figure. But there's an episode where he's doing like a rally and he's pointing out it's like his crowd and then Starlighters that they follow Annie, Starlight. And he said, you want a godless, socialist, non-binary leader? And then someone on his crowd, it screams, string her up, string her up. And I was like, wait, is this a nod to lock her up? The whole chant that the MAGA crowd was throwing at Hillary Clinton. And I also want to tell, people that don't really understand politics here in America, there is a difference of being a Republican and someone that's a MAGA supporter. And there's also a difference between being a Democrat and like someone that's like super far liberal. The new recruiter from the 7, Firecracker, she is definitely mirroring Marjorie Taylor Greene. If you don't know, Marjorie Taylor Greene's a politician here that she's super conservative. Like whenever Firecracker is talking, she has a speech about the vaccines, her accent, her love for guns, she's anti-trans people. All of that is like, dude, you like Marjorie Taylor Greene in a red wig. I did like when Homelander told Sage, because Sage is the one that recruited Firecracker, and he looked at her and said, looks like she fell off her jet ski too many times. Like she's really dumb, she doesn't know, she has no clue what she's saying. And Firecracker, she has this vendetta against Starlight, Annie, And Annie doesn't understand why. She's like, why does she hate me so much? And they finally have a one-on-one, like face to face. And then Firecracker said that, you don't remember me, do you? They used to compete in pageants together. And when Annie was, I think, 13 years old, maybe like little, she spread this rumor that Firecracker had slept with, I think, a bunch of judges and then called her fat slut. And you know that thing, hurt people hurt people. So Annie, it's not the goody shoes that we think she is. She apologized, but yeah, Firecracker did not accept her apology. Let's talk about Ryan, Homelander's son. I am glad that they did not recast the actor, because it happens a lot when you have a child actor and then they grow up, because there's a lot of kids that they're good actors when they're little, and then they grow up to be teenagers or adults, and they're like, oh, you're not the best actor we thought. But the kid that's playing Ryan, he's really holding his own against Anthony Starr, that plays Homelander, and Carl Urban, that plays Butcher. And did you notice that when they're pitching that, like that meeting, and they have a poster about Ryan being the new, like a mini Homelander, in the poster of the kid, they put a big bulge, like a big package down there on the kid. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so The Boys. So Butcher is still feeling the side effects of taking too much Compound V, and he opens up to the crew, the boys, that he only has about 6 months to live. And he also wants to keep the promise that he made to his dead wife of taking Ryan away from Homelander. Not only that, but I think he's trying to avoid having a world that has two Homelanders, because if Ryan, like if he doesn't take Ryan away and Ryan becomes a mini Homelander, I mean, there's no chance for them. And our man, Homelander, the most self-centered, narcissist person that we know, it's not enjoying getting older. We see him pulling pubic hairs. They're gray because, you know, there's only so much blonde dye that you can put in your top hair. But he starts putting gray hairs, like he's collecting them in a jar. And his ego also gets a punch. He gets very hurt when he hears some people in the production staff of this. They're trying to like set up this fake safe with Ryan saving this little girl. And he overhears them talking about like, oh, this is so nice. Like this kid has like such a smooth face. He's like so young and beautiful. And then they mentioned that they went over 9 million over budget when they had to shoot Dawn of 7, because they had to airbrush so many of the wrinkles on the cast. And they even take a dig at Sex and the City too. They said, yeah, man, we're up to here with Sex and the City too about airbrushing the wrinkles. And I was like, oh, don't take a dig at my show. And speaking of digs, no one is safe on the show. They call Meghan Markle a monarchy fucker. Excuse the language. And then Homelander is telling Butcher, saying, no means no. This isn't the Neverland Ranch. And I was like, oh no, not the Michael Jackson reference. I think it's so interesting that the show is using the sense of mortality on both of our lead characters, because Homelander is afraid of getting older, and Butcher is slowing dying and he doesn't have much time left. Let's talk about the other new recruiter, Sister Sage. And she wants to drop the sister, so I'll just call her Sage. She is the smartest person in the world. Not the smartest woman, smartest person in the world. She seems very book smart. She actually makes a reference to Harry Potter, Neo, and Luke Skywalker when she's talking to Homelander, saying there can only be one of you. And I think Homelander, it's like, is definitely me. Hence him hijacking Ryan's fake safe. So I wonder if Homelander, no, I mean, that would be too much if he kills Ryan, or if Ryan will be the one that kills Homelander. As far as Sage being the smartest person in the room, I want more knowledge out of her. That's why I thought it was so cool that she mentioned, you know, Harry Potter, Neo, and Luke Skywalker. I want her to talk about the Roman Empire in books and pop culture. She's a very intelligent person, but she's like CEO intelligent. I know she didn't mention Caesar at the beginning when she first met Homelander. Her best line was when Homelander, she's in the suit and she's like, oh, this is uncomfortable. And then he says, popularity is power, sister. And she replies, no, it's prison. It made me think, which is so funny because after I watch The Boys, like sometimes on your feed you get some videos, I don't know, recommended, but it was a video of J-Lo and Ben Affleck, and Ben Affleck was going to his son's graduation, and it's one of those paparazzi videos that follow the celebrity like step by step from the school to the restaurant to the valet. He was with his mom. What, I was watching that and I was like, what kind of life is this? This generation, if you ask them, would you rather be famous or would you rather be rich? A lot of kids would say they'd rather be famous. I want to be rich. I want my privacy. I want my little cottage in the English countryside and my sheep. It's almost like the celebrities, like J-Lo. It seems like she doesn't mind being followed around because she knows like, oh, it comes with the power that I have of being a celebrity. But poor Ben Affleck, oh, and his mom, why is she being followed? Back to Sister Sage. I do think she should be careful with her smarts because, if she doesn't shut her mouth at times, I think that's going to annoy Homelander, because you could tell sometimes when she was telling him what to do, he was like, he would give her a look, because Homelander, he's the big puppeteer and he's just, with his little puppets. And now he has someone that's on his ear giving him advice, but at one point does advice becomes, I'm the one running the show. I'm telling you what to do with the puppets. And when she mentioned Caesar, was there a foreshadowing of what's going to happen in the future? Like et tu Brutus, Deep. Oh, don't we love Deep? They give is it Chance or Chase Crawford? They give him so much to work with, and he has, his love lady, the octopus Ambrosius. And when I paused it, because I wanted to find out who the voice for the octopus was, it's Tilda Swinton. Speaking of Ambrosius, that last scene where Sage makes out with Deep, we see it's very obvious because the camera goes to that like weapon. There's like some sort of metal weapon and it's got blood in it. Do you think Sage killed Ambrosius? Because she's eating like some sort of fried junk food. And when she was eating at first, I thought they were like fish sticks. And when Deep comes in, he's like, oh, is that onion bloom from Outback? Yeah, but she had two boxes. So one could have been the onion bloom and the other one was the fish sticks. I've been reading online, and this might be a smarter theory than mine, that, oh, she just killed the fish and she fed him the fish. People are saying that weapon, it's a lobotomy tool, because it must be really exhausting to be the smartest person in the world. So she performed lobotomy on herself to dumbify her temporarily. That's why she's eating all this like junk fried food. That's why she makes out with Deep, because only a dumb person would make out with Deep. And she also mentions, she's like, do you want to watch Transformers 2? And isn't that, I mean, no shade to people that like the Transformers, but isn't that something like not the smartest person in the world would do? Like a dumb person's like, do you want to watch Transformers 2? She made herself less intelligent. I'm buying it. A-Train, nothing much going on here too, besides the fact that Mother's Milk wants to flip him. He wants to take him out of the Seven and have him, join the boys' side. And I think it will happen slowly but surely. But do you think A-Train is redeemable? Let me know in the comments below. Kimiko and Frenchie. What is going on here? First of all, Kimiko drunk was really funny, especially because she can't talk. So she's like acting drunk, saying like how many beers she had. She's like, she's arguing with French, saying, hey, you can hook up with whoever you want. And then she's saying like sign language that she hooked up with the barista. He stuck his penis in my vagina. And I like, at that point, I was like, can you just talk now? But I don't know what's going on with like Frenchie. So he's gay now or bisexual? Because I thought Kimiko was the love of his life. You know, even though they have this sort of will they, won't they platonic relationship, this whole Colin thing felt like out of nowhere. Maybe they're just trying to check boxes. You know, oh, we need to have some, you know, like a gay couple, which I don't mind. I'm all for representation, but here with him and Colin, just I don't know, it didn't feel natural to me, especially because Frenchie killed his family. Another big highlight, Will Ferrell. When he showed up on the screen, I was like, what the F? Will Ferrell? Oh, like how much did they pay him to be on The Boys? Which, like, that little cameo was so good. As far as cameos or references to Gen V, which is the spin-off show from The Boys, great show too, we don't get any besides a couple mentions. I think Newman mentions there's a virus brewing at Godolphin, you know, the university, and then Black Noir mentions that he went to Godolphin. It wouldn't be funny or interesting if Ryan went to Godolphin and then that actor went to Gen V? You guys know that I always talk about a good soundtrack. Oh, the soundtrack here at The Boys was a chef's kiss. We start with Sex Pistols, God Save the Queen. I was like, God Save the Queen. We have B.I.G., Biggie, Hypnotized. That was a good one. We had Talking Heads. And then Twisted Sister. I started singing this song. I was like, I wanna rock, 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 rock. I want to rock. What did you think of the first 3 episodes? What do you think was the whole thing with Sage and Deep? Do you think that lobotomy theory is correct? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and also hit the little bell notification button so you don't miss any future videos. And I'll see you next time. I want to rock.